Hello YouTube, welcome to Draco Gaming. Today we're going to be talking about Cold War and Warzone, how to get it fixed, how to get it running. A lot of you are still having issues, a lot of you have been fixed by my videos. Now with Season 2, the update that has just come out has broken a ton more stuff for people and brought back dev errors, freezes, and crashing. And today we're going to talk about how to get that fixed. It took me some time, I've done some research, and this channel, as usual, no BS, no fluff. Let's get you fixed. Here we go. Alright, you need to watch the whole video. I've done proper testing. I've fixed a ton, thousands of people's war zones and cold wars. I'm here to give you the ultimate guide today. But you guys keep asking me things that are already in the videos. I've made 4 videos, which I'm going to list below. I'm going to put an entire list of tips and things to do. This video is going to have everything you need to get your game running. I'm here to help you guys out. So let's get into it, alright? Now, end of rant. Now, the top 3 things that really affect this game that I've learned in the last year of playing and streaming this game successfully and getting other people to play and stream this game successfully. This is my track record. Okay, the top 3 things. First thing, you need a high-end CPU that is actually running correctly with the game. I made a video on this. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about right now. Alright, so we can go over all those other basics, but those are in the other video, and I'll go over them in a highlight a little bit. But what you need to really do is go to the My Documents folder in your computer, and you need to go to, say, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and you go to Players, and you go to Advanced Options. And there is something here called Render Worker Count, and it's the amount of actual threads or CPU cores that it's going to be utilizing to run the game. This is what affects the stuttering, the low frame rate, and possibly a lot of dev error crashes. So there's an actually video memory scale and render worker count, okay? So this is 0.85, which I believe is 0.85 gigs, and that's the max that it'll try to utilize. It also has a render worker count of how many CPU or physical cores it actually is going to use. So I don't think this is actually threads, let me correct myself. It is cores, physical cores, not all your threads. So say, for instance, I have a 12-core 24 thread Ryzen 3900X. What we're wanting to do right here, and why I have 3 instead of 6, is you want to put half of your actual physical cores here, okay? And so what I actually am doing is running some AMD gaming software. I have it in game mode. It's the Ryzen Master software suite. I think it's right there, Ryzen Master, it's called Ryzen Master software. I'm running it in game mode, which gives me the 6 strongest cores out of my 12 physical cores. Physical, guys. I'm using half of those to focus on the game. My FPS shot through the roof. So I have it set to 3 physical cores. I didn't have any graphical maximum memory issues. I have an RTX 3070 right now. I had a 2070 Super prior. No issues with me having to change this. This was a huge issue for me. Number 1 top issue for a lot of dev errors and FPS performance issues. Boom, right there. Number 2, compatible RAM and enough RAM, and the RAM being set up correctly. So your RAM needs to be at least 16 gigs. I cannot even run the game on 16 gigs anymore without getting dev error. I went 32 gigs of G-Skill Trident Z 3200 megahertz RAM. Prior to me having my CPU set up correctly, I could not run the game at 3200 megahertz. I had to run it at 1866 with my 2700X CPU not set up correctly. When I went to a 3900X and I set up the cores correctly, like I just showed you, I am now able to run my 32 gigs of RAM at 32 megahertz. And again, this is the G-Skill Trident Z G-Skill RAM. A lot of success with it. This game does not use the memory, and it does not use the CPU correctly out of the box, as you can see in the documents folder I just showed you. If you're looking at Cold War, I'll also show you the Cold War one. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, My Documents, COD Black Ops Cold War, Player, there's a config file here. And what you want to do is go through here, and I believe there's a system settings options down here, and you can actually see worker threads, thread counts for handling the job. So right now I'm doing 3 to 4 and having good success with that. They only say you can do 2 to 4. So I actually think it may have a limitation. So I'm correcting myself again a little bit, but I might not be able to do 6 or 12. I think this game is still designed around having quad-core systems or 4 CPU systems. These Call of Duty games were tested from the research I've done on consoles. So they were only tested on one type of RAM at one type of speed and certain types of CPUs that were quad cores in the gaming consoles. And that doesn't fare well on 24-thread, 12-core, 16-core CPU in gaming systems. The game doesn't know and isn't coded right on how to properly utilize a PC and its hardware correctly to run the game. So this is one of the biggest issues I found with the game, is the CPU stuff not being set up right in these config files for both Modern Warfare and Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, as well as the RAM configurations not being set up friendly enough for this game to use them, since the game was only tested on certain types of RAM and things like that. And that's going to depend on, I would recommend G.Skill RAM, Corsair RAM, 32 gigs. Don't overclock it. Do not run XMP profiles. Let it run in its native speed and see if it's fine, and then bump it up from there. I went to 1866 at its native speed, and then I bumped it up manually, not using XMP profiles, to 3200, and I've been successfully running with no dev errors at 3200 megahertz now, and some of my other friends at 3600. As after you get the CPU issue fixed and you get your RAM in order, these dev errors disappear. Number 3, broken files after updates. Okay, let's talk about this here and going through it in detail. I hope you're staying with me. You guys need to watch the video and go through all of this. Okay, hear me out. Here we go. So what happens with Season 2 is you download this update and they don't update it properly. Okay, they don't get rid of old files or overwrite files or put the new ones in and get rid of the old ones right. There's a lot of data here. You guys need to understand there's a lot of ones and zeros going on in the computer world. You don't understand it. You don't get it. I understand, but I worked at this at a binary level and a hexadecimal level in my career, and you need to understand when you're downloading an update, there's a ton of mathematical, crazy, digital data and science going on here, and sometimes it's not right. Look at Cyberpunk's release. Look at this. Look at how they're always having to fix the game with the patches. They don't get it right the first time. And so what the updates do is they break the game. This has been happening for forever. It hasn't happened in the last few updates, but this Season 2 update, it was so big, it was so many gigs of data and guns and changes that this patch on PC broke a lot of people's systems again. So good news. Last night when we were streaming, 2 of my buddies, because they know my fixes, were able to fix their systems by completely deleting the game out. Okay, this is the third top thing that ruins Cold War and keeping you from running it. The first one is the CPU being programmed incorrectly in the config file, not having a high-end CPU. The second thing is your RAM configurations, your XMP profiles, BIOS, and overclock settings. And number 3 is these updates do break the game over time. You're not gonna like these answers, then move on because you don't really want to play the game, but this fixes the game. This is why I'm known as the Warzone guy. You have to completely acid wash all the old cache files and folders out of your system, uninstall the game. We're gonna show you all the locations where you delete out all these files, and then what you do is you reboot your computer and you reinstall the game fresh and all these cache files fresh, etc., and the game works again. My friends were able to do that last night. The game started, 2 of my friends dev-erred at the same exact time on PC and got booted out of the game. I didn't, because I did this prior and I knew that the game would probably do it because it was a big update. And what they did was they did this and fixed their game. So this is how you do it. We're going to go over the different locations. We have Blizzard cache. So you go C, Blizzard, let's see, C program data. We're going to go, all these locations are going to be in the description below. We're going to go C program data, Blizzard Entertainment. We're going to go BattleNet, cache. Delete it, get rid of it, goodbye. Okay, uninstall the game first. Uninstall Warzone, Call of Duty, Cold War. Uninstall the game, then go in here and acid wash these files out. Get rid of the BattleNet folder. Then we're going to go in. We're going to go to C, users, Draco, your name. You're going to go documents, so basically your documents, files, and folders. You're going to go to Call of Duty Modern Warfare. You're going to delete all this out. Now, deleting this stuff out does get rid of the single-player campaign in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, as well as Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. if you want to play the game, you want it to stop crashing, you guys are going to have to delete these and delete your save games and your storyline saves or whatever little things you're trying to do in there if you want to get the game fixed, unfortunately. So we're going to have to delete both of those. You need to delete your graphics card cache. For NVIDIA, we're going to go to C, Program Data, go to NVIDIA Corporation, we're going to go to NV Cache right here. Get rid of it, okay? Delete it. For AMD users, we're going to go C, users, me, let's see, we've got to go app data. Make sure hidden files and folders is turned on when you're doing all this. Type hidden files and folders, show hidden files and folders, click show hidden files and folders. So this app data one is a hidden file. You want to make sure these are visible. Local, AMD, Ryzen Master Cache, and if there's any other cache, I don't have an AMD graphics card, so just my Ryzen Master cache in there, but your graphics card cache will be in this folder if you're an AMD user. Get rid of it, delete it. DirectX, you want to just open your Explorer, right-click on the drive you have it installed on, or that DirectX is installed on, we get rid of the DirectX cache. So you can go to just this PC, right-click, and I believe you go to Properties, General, and then we're going to do Disk Cleanup, and you're going to checkbox the DirectX shader cache file here. So the 63 megabytes, and you can get rid of everything else if you want. Uncheck it if you want. And I would probably do temporary files, DirectX shader files, whatever, the common stuff. Checkbox those, click OK, delete the DirectX shader cache. Once you've got all these caches gone, you've uninstalled the game, you delete all these caches, you're going to reboot your computer for smiles, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to reinstall that game and all your issues are going to be fixed. I'm telling you. Now, we've gone over a lot of information and data in the last 13 minutes. A couple more minutes, guys. Hang in there, okay? If you want to get your game fixed, I'm here to help. Those are the top 3 major things that are messing with people from getting this game working right. But again, make sure it's running as admin permanently. Make sure the game is running as admin. If you don't know where that is, go into your BattleNet, click Show and Explore. When you click on the little gear icon here, click Show and Explore, it'll bring it up. You can go to Black Ops or Modern Warfare. A lot of you are playing Black Ops, so let's go in here. You got your Black Ops Cold War 281 megabyte file here, properties. You can see under my compatibility, I'm always running this program as administrator. Click OK and apply. Make sure you're doing that. Don't have any extra software and stuff running like crazy stuff. I have very minimal stuff running down here. Very minimal, especially when I'm streaming. I'll close whatever I can. I couldn't even use NVIDIA Broadcast for a while, but now I can. Okay, just don't run all that stuff. Don't. And you're like, why? Oh, I have a 3090. I want to run my stuff. I want to overclock it. Why did I pay for this then? The game is broken, and so is your brain because you're not listening to me. So you're going to have to close that stuff if it's making your game crash. So I can't tell you how many times people were like, oh yeah, I installed this program that I had running and the game started working. I'm like, you never told me you were running all that crap in the background. It's going to have effects. So make sure you're not running extra stuff in the background. Don't overclock anything, okay? Don't have mismatched pairs of RAM like we're talking about. Make sure it says admin. Make sure your Activision accounts are linked. That was another huge one from getting disconnects and crashing at the screen. Go to Activision.com, log in, make sure your Xbox, your PC, your Blizzard account, all are on the same account, they're connected, and that they know that they all are going to be accessing that Call of Duty account for you, that Activision account. It'll think something is wrong with your account if you don't link them, and it will crash your game, close it out to try to protect it or just because of some error. So make sure your Activision account is linked. There's on my videos that I've done on this, I go through it, okay? I show you on screen and I go through that process as well. Again, I'm going to list all of these instructions, these shader locations, the 4 links to my 4 other videos with all this information and more in-depth information on step-by-step how to do a lot of these things to get you guys fixed. This will definitely get your Season 2 issues fixed. It's been a long time running with Warzone and Cold War now and Modern Warfare, and we've got it nailed down. We've done a lot of testing. We know how to fix it. These are a lot of the core issues, and you have all the information below with the shader locations and my other 4 videos to get you fixed and up and running. As always, guys, as always, if you guys have any questions, you need any information, please comment down below. I love to hear what you guys have to say. I'm Draco Ray Gaming. I hope, let me know if you guys got fixed. We have a lot of fun on the live stream, so click that notification bell, and I'll catch you guys next time.